Hi, I just got my new handlebars in. Right here, I just got a budget 12-inch risers for my 2025 Kawasaki 1700 Vulcan Vaquero. As you can see on this, the standard ones here, the ones that you'll get standard, they're right there. As you can see, they're right here on the tank, which means when I'm riding them, they're like right here on my hips, and they're real uncomfortable when I'm out riding. So that was the first thing I wanted to replace when I was shopping around, and when I decided to purchase this bike. So the handlebars have to be changed. I like them right here where my shoulder is. Feels like I have a lot more control and just a much better riding experience for me. Like, they're just handlebars down here at the waist. It's just real uncomfortable, and I don't feel like I have that much control. So we're going to go ahead and throw them on. Before we get into that, there were some comments I wanted to reply to from my last video, which was a review of the motorcycle. Not a review, first impressions. Haven't been on a long ride yet to really give a review, so I'm not going to do that yet until I finally get on the road and take a trip worth commenting about. In my last video, I said I was going to take a trip, but as you can hear, I got sick for the last couple weeks. So I wasn't able to go, but luckily out here in the Southwest, there's plenty of sunshine, plenty of days where I can do that. So still looking forward to it. The first comment I wanted to reply to is from WB. Said that he loves the bike, and he had a 2011 fully customized, freaking awesome. And it's a fun fact, 2011 and 2025 are currently the same, and that's right. I mean, there's some tweaks, as he mentions here, about the brakes and things like that, but yeah, I mean, these models are going to be exactly the same every year, except the one change is the color. Every year when they release a new year model, they have a new color. The 2025 is this black one, which brings me to another comment from Astris 1000. He said that, "Nice bike, good sir, thank you, but you didn't do it justice. Throughout the entire review, the sparkle and the gorgeous paint job was literally screaming, 'Talk to me, daddy, talk to me.' And you didn't, but it's okay, we could clearly see it for ourselves." You're right, I did not make any comment about the paint job, and the paint job is amazing. So let's actually take a moment and let's look at the paint job. And here I have it parked in a garage, and you can see there's no sparkles. It's just a solid black color. So when it's in the shade, you get this real nice solid black. So just get a good look there. Just a night black, it's pretty sick, dude. Now when I bring it out into the sun, you can see it has this like green or gold flicker. Lots of freckles on it. It really makes it stick out. It's like this all over the bike except for the highway pegs and the guard pegs, of course. But it does give it a really nice shine and glow when you're out during the day. Yeah, it's really cool. Here's a good one on the gas tank. Trying not to get in the way. And it's all over the body. And the saddlebags. So, yeah, this year's. I also think one of the reasons that they don't come out with a new bike and they keep it exactly the same is because it's built well and it's engineered well. A lot of owners from 2011 and so on have mentioned that these bikes last a long time. Some of them claim that it goes up to about 200,000 miles with just basic maintenance, and I'm excited to test that. As part of my journey here on this page is going to figure out, is this motorcycle actually that reliable, or if it's not, I plan on riding it as much as I can and owning it for as long as I can until I run it dead. And then I could be like, yeah, this model's pretty awesome, or maybe the internet isn't truthful or whatever. But if you do a quick Google search, if you say most reliable cruiser, one of them that pops up is this motorcycle. So probably doesn't need to be changed every year. You know, like I said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what Kawasaki does every year. They might do some little tweaks here and there, like for instance the brakes might change to ABS or whatever, the KACT. But for the most part, it's just like, hey, you know, engine runs great. No reason, just come out with it again. It's fine, does the job. So anyway, let's get into these. Let's put these on. Let's put these handlebars on. Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. Let's do it. One of the things I really liked about this motorcycle when I was first looking at it was the tensions here on these wires. If you don't own this motorcycle and you're watching this video to kind of get an idea of how to change your own handlebars, first thing you want to take a look at is if you're going to need to replace all your wiring here. If you're going to get really long ape hangers, most likely yes. But if you're just going to get something that just rises up a little bit, check your wires and make sure that there's some play. And I was really excited that there's a lot of play on these wires. You just put your hands through here and you just pull them, and you can see I have a lot of play on my brake line, on my clutch line. Yeah, I have a lot to work with. So I think I can replace these handlebars without having to change a thing. Second thing you want to check is where the lines are coming from on your handlebars. On my previous motorcycle, I got into a lot of trouble trying to buy new rise handlebars because some wires run through the gap here. They'll run through here. And if that's the case, you'll need to get a handlebar that's called dimpled, meaning there's a little dimple in these bars that allows the wires to run through inside. This model does not. All the wires are on the outside, as you can see here, and on this one here. All the wires run on the outside. None of them run inside here, which is amazing. That gives me a lot of different options when buying handlebars. Now, since I am not changing out the wires, this replacement project should be simple, right? Knock on wood. The first things that I'm gonna just need to do is pop these off, unscrew them, unscrew a couple of these here to take this grip off. Same thing with here, take this grip off and then replace it. If you have something that can help you, that'll be great, because what you'll do is you'll have them hold these bars so they don't slam into your gas tank and scratch it. You don't want that to happen, especially on a brand new motorcycle. If you don't, throw a towel up on here or something. If you're doing this by yourself, and even if you're not doing this by yourself, do it for the extra measures, because gravity will just pull, just loves metal, and it'll just pull it real fast, and all of a sudden you got the big old gash through your gas tank here. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do, is throw a towel up on here. So I went ahead and I have these old curtains that my wife replaced, and I kept them. You know, anything that I can lay down on the garage floor, I tend to keep. Curtains are great. These are really long. Got them double layered. Took these these are plastic little pieces. You could try find something real thin to remove those, and luckily I have a tool big enough, because these are really big actually. So luckily I had one that was just the right size. So it looks like I got to take these two pieces off. And I have a nice little wrench here, like the ones with the handles, if I can get them. Well, that's what I'll do. Pretty snug. Okay, then we'll get this next one. Uh-oh. That's already loose. Oh, even when you buy a brand new motorcycle, looks like things can also be wrong with it, even on a brand new one. That's not cool, but all right, that's loose. Now let's see. Where's the other piece here? Is it on the bottom? It's in the back. And that's a Phillips. Of course it is. Why not anything unique? So we'll just go ahead and get that out. It's pretty snug too. Ooh, that's a tight one. God dang, took it nice and easy. Wow, yeah, this one is a lot tighter than the other two were, especially that loose one. Anyway, slowly taking it off. Okay. Cool. And that should be what it takes to pull this off. Shouldn't be any more than that. And I'm just winging this this replacement here. I'm just going as I see it. And it looks like they have a cap right here. It kind of holds this place together, a little extra cap, which is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna try to take that off. So next spot, after we got those all loosened up and taken off, looks like the same thing is happening here. They have this case, they have a Phillips in the back, and then you have these two pieces here. So just five screws all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off next. So as I was taking this one, loosening this off, I noticed a big old crack through this case here. This was so tight, it was pushing down on this top case. Really weird. Whoever assembled this motorcycle was not going by any kind of torque spec, because this was loose. This wasn't even screwed on. This was kind of like semi-tight. I mean, it was pretty easy to take off. These ones were super tight. These ones are super tight. This one was not tight. This one was so tight that it left a little, like there was a little dent, and as I was loosening it off, it like pulled that out. Very strange assembly here. But well, even with new motorcycles, you know, it still takes somebody to assemble these things, and they just didn't check or double check. There wasn't really much double checking going on these screws, and now I'm wondering if I should test every one of these screws to make sure they're at torque. If they're loose, like even one, I might have to do that, because I'm kind of not okay with how loose and tight some of these screws are. But anyway, let's just focus on the handlebars. We'll get that done. So I went to take this off, and if you remember, this was loose, and this came off without much effort. This side, however, I know is really tight. Holy shit. Yeah, not consistent at all with the torque. Remember, this just came off the lot. It should not. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh my god, even with the handle on this thing. Let's check this other one real quick and see how tight this is. I'm dealing with the same thing. Okay. All right, I'll figure something out. All right, so I didn't record it because I was doing something kind of dangerous. Well, not dangerous. I was trying to use a power tool to take this off. And even with the power tool, I could not take this off. These are over torqued to hell. Oh my god. I have to try something different. I hope these aren't. I don't know. I'm starting to have doubts now about this whole thing. I can't believe it's so inconsistent with how tight or loose these bolts are. All right, so that's it for now. Actually, I'm gonna call it quits because I'm starting to get mad, and if I get too mad, I'm gonna break something. So I'm gonna just put everything back together and try to figure out what I can do to try to loosen these, because I'm also having the same problem with these guys here. I know my hand's all shaky. This one was the only one I could loosen. The rest of these three are too tight, even with a power tool, to loosen them out. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna hopefully get this done next time, and then upload that video of the new handlebars. I want them on. All right, so I finished it. Got the handlebars on. Sorry, I had to take a break. I got really upset about how tight some of these screws were, and I started getting mad. So I decided just to take a break and come back the next day, think about what I wanted to do, and I eventually got all of the bolts off. It's just a lot. I needed a lot of weight to get those bolts off, but I got it all back on. And sorry, I didn't record the rest of it because I had like a flashlight in my hand. I was using both hands. A flashlight in my mouth. I was using both hands, but I got these on. A weird thing about this motorcycle is that the handlebars, here, I'll just show it to you right here. The handlebars had holes in them, and the clasps had like a little piece of plastic that stuck through it to go through the handlebars. And I guess Kawasaki uses that to hold your grips and stuff in place. I've never seen that. I've replaced a few handlebars, not that many, it's 3. This is my 3rd one. And I've never saw the bolts this tight before, or one of them was just loose, it wasn't even in there. So that was a first for me. And then 2, I didn't see the holes. So I had to borrow a drill to drill through these steel, which not easy, but it got through it pretty good. And then I was able to, get them on appropriately, I guess. I guess the other option I could have done was just shave off that little pin, but I was worried I was going to crack the case, and I'm a frustrated type of mechanic. I get real mad when things are strange and they don't, especially when they're not working or whatever. I tend to get upset about it. So, but they're on. Shocking about how tight or not tight these things were, and the holes in the bars. So now with these new risers on, let me show you the new view that I have. Sorry, I have a limp from a previous motorcycle accident I was in. Ankle doesn't work right, and it won't work for the rest of my life, but it's okay. So with these new handlebars, it's gonna kind of distort my view a little bit. I'm not gonna get a clear view of my fuel gauge, which is fine. I guess before I start the ride, I'll just take a look to see how much fuel I have. And then
prices of the year without the hassle of driving all over.
And also the heat. But yeah, I guess I could just take a look at that before I go on a ride, and then take a look at it after the ride to see how the heat of the bike is doing. But so there you go, man. New handlebars.